This week I learned I can find new and exciting ways to feel like a failure as a parent. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update as we are right in the thick of it of spooky season, guys. So a lot of fun things to talk about this week, a lot of exciting things on the horizon, and some personal family stuff that I'm going to be getting to here in just a little bit. But let's begin like usual, guys, talking about what am I reading. I did finish Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman. My feelings didn't really change about how I felt last week, in that I feel like it was fine. It wasn't this mind-blowing thing that I kind of been sold, but it was a neat little twist on some things, the bubonic plague, namely, that I didn't really expect. The third act was completely bananas, like I had predicted, and it was very good. It was very, very good. I still just said, I wish I had read this before I read Hellmouth, because I think I just wanted like an extended version of Hellmouth, and I know that's not fair. That's not fair to compare the two. It's the only two like medieval horror books I can think of right now. So I would recommend it for sure, but I don't think it's going to be in danger of competing for my book of the month. I think that's a very, very safe bet. I started working on Summer of Night by Dan Simmons. Kind of mixed on this one so far. I did a short on the channel talking about how I felt about the first 100 pages. I can see the Stephen King comparisons and things like that, where he does introduce you to a bunch of like 11-year-old kids, and he's taking his time introducing you to all these kids. I am rather surprised that I'm like a third into this book so far, and I'm still not sure what the plot is. I still don't know what the whole deal with this is. I feel like he's trying to do slice of life, and I know it's really unfair to say, and I'm not saying that Dan Simmons is an amazing writer on his own behalf. I'm saying, to me, someone who considers Stephen King the best at doing slice of life and characters and preteen kids, it's not as good as that. And I wouldn't expect it to be. I feel like he gets distracted a little easy. I feel like he was very much researching the Borgias while he was writing this book, and he decided, how do I write that into the story? It probably comes into play somewhere in the story, but right now, after like the third straight chapter of talking about this bell made by the Borgias, where I'm just like, what does this have to do with a bunch of 11-year-old kids in this small town? I have no idea why this is connecting, but I'm sure it'll come back around. But it was just one of those things where I was like, it's not what I was expecting really at all. I haven't really gotten to a ton of the frights yet. I know everybody keeps telling me, chapter 20, I think I'm on 14. Everybody keeps telling me on the Discord that chapter 20 is where this really changes. So I'm going to finish it or whatever, but I did decide to go back to some fantasy, guys, and start working back on Blackest Heart again. I'm about at 82%, I think, is what my Kindle said. So I'm close. And, it's only a Brian Lee Durfee book when you're on page 700, and you still got that much to go. So it's a big old honker of a book, but I am liking where things are going. Some things that I wasn't really wild about at the beginning of the book are kind of turning around. Curious to see where he's going to end this up. And I think he's going to cliffhang this one. And it's no big deal because, book number 3 comes out at the end of November. I got some news about that, by the way. I talked to Brian the other day after the third book, Lonesome Crown, does come out, and we all finish it sometime around December, maybe New Year's. Brian is going to join me on the channel, and we're going to have a nice little round table discussion with Madison and Scott, who I also do House of the Dragon stuff with. But they both are the ones who introduced me to this series. But the four of us are going to get together. We're going to have a nice I want to say really like a spoiler discussion as much as just we're going to have a discussion about the series, and we're not going to worry if there's spoilers or not. Surely there will. So there's going to be lots of questions about it. So I encourage you guys to read the series and catch up before that video so you can participate, because we'd love to have you there. And anytime I get to talk to Brian on the channel, it's always a treat. But that's kind of what I'm working on right now, guys. Go ahead and talk about what I'm going to read. Now, obviously, my plans are to finish Summer of Night and obviously keep working on Blackest Heart. I don't think I've got that much longer of this. I feel like I'm on the can't stop part of the book now, to where I'm going to definitely nail it down. But Summer of Night is kind of what I like to work on next week, and then after that, guys, it'll be time to do The Exorcist, which is wild because my wife asked me to wait because she wasn't ready to read it, and I started reading Summer of Night, and now she started reading it. So, of course, I'm starting to think that this might be her on the cover here. Yeah. She didn't like that joke, but I like scaring my kids with doing this. It's pretty fun. Anyways, so I'll be doing those two sometime this week, but there's a lot of things going on. I am taking my kids out of town this weekend. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we are going to San Antonio here in Texas, and we're going to be hitting up Six Flags Fiesta Texas. They've never actually seen a roller coaster in real life. You know, they've only seen it on like videos and cartoons and movies and things like that. So I said, it is time. You're both tall enough now, and now I get to find out if they will actually go on them with me. You know, there's only two reasons I had kids, guys. Free labor around the house, which I've really dropped the ball on, really just making them do stuff. And so someone would ride roller coasters. My wife gets motion sickness. She can't ride roller coasters with me. Me, I can't get enough of them. Give me all of the roller coasters. So I'm excited to take them, but that probably will you kind of curb into my reading plans just a little bit this week. But we're very excited to go. But let's go ahead and talk about this week on the channel, you guys. Mentioned House of the Dragon. We did continue with Throne Zone. Episode number 7 was called Driftmark. And again, nothing new to add there. Just it's always a fun conversation to have. We all feel like the show is just remaining as excellent as it has all season. 7 episodes now, and I think the worst episode to us has been really, really good. So that tells you this is a very impressive first season. Excited where it's going. It's one of those things where we're kind of asking ourselves, are we too close to it? Because we know the book material. But a lot of people, including my wife, who we know that has not read the book, are really enjoying the show as well. Time jumps are kind of confusing some people, but I think that's something that will come in time. Definitely think this is going to be a show that's going to be high on rewatchability. And I know people will be doing that while the long wait for season 2, which is about to come up, happens. Because, it seems like we were excited waiting for this, and now we've only got 3 weeks of that left. But, we did wrap that up, and that was very exciting. Speaking of wrap up, guys, I wrapped up the month of September and also did my book of the month. And fun month, really, to talk about my wrap up, because it was a very good month for the channel. So very impressive growth. It seems like September is always historically good for the channel, and October is always historically bad. And I think that's just because I focus so much on horror stuff in October. But this is the business that we've chosen. It's all good. But I love doing the wrap ups because I feel like I always want to make people feel like they're a part of the channel, and being transparent with you about how things are, how the health of the channel is, how things are going, to me is always something I think is very, very fun to do, and I'm glad that people enjoy it. I did get a review. I went back into the multiverse this week, guys, and talked about The Green Mile by Stephen King, one of his most underrated books. And I don't feel like it's underrated because I feel like everyone knows about it, but whenever you hear a big discussion about his best books, Green Mile never comes up. And I'm like, I can't think of any reason why this is not a top 10 book. There is literally nothing I don't like about that book. So it was one of those where I had a really long introduction to that video because there's so many good quotes in that story. I think it's probably his most impressive writing as far as like his prose and his dialogue goes since like different seasons. So I really wanted to kind of highlight that with that introduction. And I love doing those. They take a long time, but I am glad that I did it because if anyone deserves that treatment for me, it is Stephen King. Even if that stuff gets a middling response on the channel, I am still always happy to do it because I feel like eventually people are going to read more King and they're going to be looking for these things. So over time, maybe people will find these things, and I'm always happy to do it. So also on Mike's Media Reviews, I did get out a new video this week, and I did where I ranked the films of Mike Flanagan, films and series, because he's done 3 Netflix series as well. So I put them all into a big pot, and I did a nice tier list over there. I know people prefer the tier list over number 10, number 9, number 8. They prefer that much, much more. And so that's why I went ahead and did that. But a fun conversation for me to have because Midnight Club did come out Friday. I'm recording this on Friday. You're going to see it on Saturday, by the way. But I am excited to watch that. The plan is right now, after the kids get to bed tonight, to start that series. But I know there is my wife's high school was having a football game. I think we're going to that. So we might be doing that kind of late. And of course, she'll fall asleep because that's what she does. God bless her. But talking about Mike Flanagan, I think he's one of the best in the game. I think he is the best in the horror game right now. And I think you guys should check out everything because if you've liked any of his stuff, you're going to find things that you like in all of it. You love The Hill House, you like Midnight Mass, go back and check out some of his other stuff because I think you're going to like a lot of what you see. Let's talk about some next week plans. Now, this is all going to kind of hinge on how things go because I try to plan ahead. before I take a trip, but I just ran out of time this time, guys. So Throne Zone is going to be moved to Tuesday night instead of the usual Monday night this week because I won't be getting back until Tuesday morning, and I won't even get to watch the episode until Tuesday afternoon, you guys. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday night instead of Monday night. I am going to be getting up my book haul in its place for September. On Monday, I'll be getting up my September 2022 book haul. Got a mountain of stuff from you guys this month, so lots of things to talk about in that video. And I always love doing a book haul because I know that it's one of those, it's like, yeah, people, they get a lot more views and things like that, and people watch them like immediately, but over time nobody watches them. To me, it's more just I want to be able to say thank you to people publicly who send me these things. And also, I think it's a good conversation starter, books that people might not have had on their radar. They might actually put them on the radar after that. And that's a good discussion point in the comments for a lot of people to jump in and talk about. This one just comes down to if I have time, guys. I'm thinking about doing another top 10 video. I ain't done one in a while. You can tell my voice is a little screwy. So drinking Coke instead of tea, that'll probably make it feel better, right? My kids have been passing the crud around for like a week now, and I'm trying to refuse that I have it. So yeah, there we go. But I'm thinking about doing top 10 Cosmere characters, because when I did talk about where you should start with the Cosmere, I had a lot of people request this. It's one of those that I've always said, I'm not going to do top, top 10 book covers. Actually, that's actually pretty good. You could probably actually do that one. But I'm just saying, it's always a topic that I say with why you should read, or where should you start, or top 10, if that's something that people want. And Cosmere character seems to be one that people want, because I think that's going to be a wildly debated video. Because when it comes to the Cosmere stuff, people have very, very strong opinions. And I have very, very honest opinions when it comes to the Cosmere. And I think that my favorite characters will surprise people just a little bit. So I think it'll be a fun conversation to have. And like I said, I haven't had a new Cosmere book this year. So yeah, why not put some new Cosmere content on the channel? Because I do love to talk about it. Over on Mike's Media Reviews, I'm going to try to get up some more 5-minute reviews. Like I said, me and my wife are watching a lot of those horror movies right now. So I like to get up some, even though they're a little older, I don't care for a 5-minute movie review. I think you can do anything that you watch. I think that's a fun format to mess with because it's just like this. I can just turn the camera on and see what happens and talk about it. And I think that should be a lot of fun. But we've watched several on our list so far. Apostle, which was atrocious. Changeling, which was very, very good. We watched Saw with my kid, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then what else did we watch? I forgot what else we watched. Anyway, so we watched several. The Faculty. The Faculty was one. So we've watched several on our list so far. We're going to keep working on that. But I think Midnight Club is just going to kind of cut in line right now. But yeah, this is a good opportunity as any to go ahead and switch over to TV and movie talk here. I talked about it last week, but now that I have concluded it, I got to talk to you guys again about really encouraging you to watch For All Mankind on Apple TV if you have the option. If you don't, use the 7-day free trial. Because, guys, I binged all 3 seasons of this show in just over a week, and I don't do that. I think it's actually cut into my reading time, is how much I've been obsessed with watching that show. Again, this is one of my favorite writers ever, Ronald D. Moore. And I think this is one of the best shows he's ever done, which is incredible when you think about it. He's done Deep Space Nine, he's done Battlestar Galactica, he's done Outlander. This guy's amazing, and he continues to kill it here. But Ronald D. Moore plus space just equals amazing. And I'm sad now that I have to wait for season 4 because it's so good, you guys. I can't say enough about it. Like I said, I talked at length a little bit about it last week, and you can go back and check that out if you missed it. But please give the show a try. I guarantee you're going to find something that you like there. There's not a better character-written show on TV right now. Not even House of the Dragon. So, yeah, it's really, really good, you guys. So, hope you guys will check it out. So, that left open some room. What's going to be my next show? So, I did what anyone would do, and I took it to the streets to find out what I should watch next. So what are the toughest streets out there? The Twitter streets are the toughest streets out there. But they do love them some TV, and they do have very heightened opinions. So I did what anyone would do, and I asked the people. And I said, what show should I watch next? Now, I had 4 shows that were recommended to me the most. And so I put them up on this Twitter poll and said, I don't want any of your Disney Plus crap. Just give me, out of these 4 shows, which one do you think that I should pick? Now, I went with Succession on HBO, Severance on Apple TV, See on Apple TV, and From on Epix, which I didn't even know was a thing until everyone on my Discord was recommending From. And I looked at that trailer, very good. It looks very Wayward Pinesy. But anyway, I expected Succession to run away with this poll. Now, Succession did win the poll. They did. But Severance was in the lead a couple of times. So That's really moved up my list. Now, here's the hitcher about this thing. I'm planning to watch all 4 of these shows. I do. I mean, look, Succession, HBO, just because people have sold it to me as, hey, imagine Westeros in the real world. Okay, that's an interesting enough hook. Severance, just, I love good sci-fi flicks when you start talking about messing with the brain and stuff. That gets really fun. See, you got Drax and Aquaman in it. I mean, sure, I'm going to check that out for sure. And I think that right now, Apple TV, their stock couldn't be any higher to me when it comes to Severance. And see, I'm going to try anything, I think, from Apple TV because they're really focusing on quality over quantity. At least that's my experience so far. So I'm willing to give them just about anything a chance. And then, of course, has some alumni from Lost that I really do love. And, of course, just like I said, it looks very, very creepy in that Twilight Zone, Wayward Pines kind of way. So this really just determined the order that I'm going to do it in. Now, Succession has 3 seasons. So I figured I might do 1 season of Succession, then I might try Severance. Or maybe I just love Succession so much I blow through it like I just did with For All Mankind. No one knows how these things are going to work. You know what? I might try one of these shows and just decide it's not for me. Never know. But too many people I know just carry on about Succession for me to think that I'm not going to enjoy it. But thank you guys for voting. That's really, really great. Check out the Twitter at Zep1978 if you guys want to join the next poll. Mr. Harrigan's Phone, the newest Stephen King adaptation, did come out on Netflix. Terrible reviews, so it means I'll probably like it. I'm not really sure. I haven't actually read the story. It's been one of those to be the first in a long time Stephen King adaptation where I am watching the adaptation before I read the story. When If It Bleeds came out, I wasn't in the mood for. I don't know. It was just one of those that just didn't happen. It just did not happen that year, so I haven't actually read it. And then, of course, we'll be littering in Midnight Club all through this week. But I want to talk about how I messed up, guys, with Saw. And I know many of you out there are like, yeah, no shit, your 10-year-old kid wasn't ready to watch Saw. Thought he was. I fucked up bad. He didn't sleep in his room for 3 nights. The first night, he was like, oh, I want to sleep with you guys. We thought he was just having fun because it was like a slumber party atmosphere, and he just wanted to kind of hang out with us. And it was cool. Then the next 2 nights, he wanted to sleep on the couch downstairs with the night light on, with the kitchen light on. So that's when I realized, okay, I really, really messed up. So my wife put a nice kibosh on pretty much everything else I planned to show him this year. No more Pet Sematary. She's going to let him watch Young Frankenstein, maybe Interview with the Vampire. But after the way he reacted, I have no ground to stand on to fight her on these things. And he's still like, I still want to watch it. And I'm like, well, you shouldn't have let her know that you were that freaked out then. So the thing is the movie totally freaked him out. As expected, because apparently he said he's really scared of dolls. And I'm like, you watched Poltergeist last year, and that doll didn't scare you, but Jigsaw scared you too much. And here's the thing is, Jigsaw scared the hell out of him, yet guess what he wants to go as for Halloween? Jigsaw. So kids, man, they're great. So yeah, I screwed up. I'll admit it. I've always said I'm not the worst parent, but I'm definitely not the best one. Hey, I make mistakes sometimes, and I learn maybe I need to pump the brake a little bit. So, Saul freaks my wife out. So I should have listened. I messed up, and hey, it's a learning experience. Here's the thing about being a parent, guys, is everyone is a rookie. The first time. So there it is. So guys, that was my week. What was your week like? Why don't you drop in the comments and let me know what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you're playing, and I will talk to you down below. Have a great, great weekend.